Okay, so let's get started with the second part of this series. We're gonna go into making a character select screen. We're gonna have placeholders to begin with, but after we're gonna change it. So I did a couple of things in between videos. There, I did a bit of level art. So this is the red level now, and the blue level is the cave. You just see a bunch of rocks. These are all props from the Unreal Engine starter content. Now, what else I did is I commented the level blueprint. So all this stuff. I forgot to comment it earlier, which from now on I'm just going to comment every blueprint I do. So here we have unload all the levels. You create the widget for the menu. Show the mouse cursor. Sequence splitter. Stream the blue level and the red level. Right here. Another thing I did was here this node, the remove from parent that we had in the previous video, it used to be like this. It was this. It started to give me errors, so what I had done is I connected it to blue only, and then I copy pasted it and I connected it to red, and the blue pin target goes all the way back into this. Okay, so after this section, now we can pretty much start. So first thing I want to do is I want to place the warrior and the mage. I'll put them in their idle animation. So here I'll type in idle. I think I'm going to get them maybe. Okay, there. So on content I type idle. I have greatsword idle. Here I have the mage. And then I have sword shield idle. Okay, so I have both of these. If I press play, there they are. Now, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this guy, because I don't want to control anything here. So I delete him, take the starter, this starting capsule, and bring it right here. Then you go into, here, click the X. Third person BP, blueprints, third person character, you duplicate him, and we'll call this dummy. You'll move him into the general folder, and we're going to edit some things on him. First, you don't need any of this blueprint because you don't want to control the camera on him. So you delete that. You go into his viewport, and you don't want to see this mesh either. So you click this little yellow arrow. Then in character movements inherited, we're going to reduce his speed to 0, so you can't move around. Compile that and save. I'm just going to save first. Okay. Now we're going to go into settings, project settings, maps and modes. Here in selected game mode, default pawn, put it to dummy, and we'll see what's the result. Okay, I can't move, the mouse isn't doing anything, but here I could select and load a level. What I want to do now is when I select a level, my camera focus should get closer to these two, and then I can select either of them. So for that, what I'll do is here, I wrote camera already from the previous time I was recording. So camera, you get a camera here, and you place it so you can see both of them. We're going to call this select cam. And, oh, okay. I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to call this one mage cam. I'm going to copy paste that, put it in front of him, and I'll call it warrior cam. I'll go into my level blueprint. Actually, I'm going to select all three of these cameras first. I'll go into my level blueprint, and I want to create reference to all three of these actors. Then I'll go get their controller. Here I'll drag out and write target, set view target with blend. That's what you want. So warrior and mage cam, we don't need these right now. You take select cam, put it in new view target, we'll make a custom event, and we'll say character select screen, and we'll connect it right here. So here in VT blend linear, we'll go and take the last one, ease in out. Blend exponent, we'll put it to 5, and blend time, we'll put it to 1. So it takes 1 second and it has an ease in, ease out curve. Then we're gonna go here where it says remove from parent and call this event. So we'll compile and drag a pin, character, select screen. I'm gonna copy paste that and connect it here. Just gonna fix the comment box. Okay. Here I'm gonna call it character select screen. So I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna take the camera here, set the width to 1920, 1080 just for the ratios, and do the same thing here because on my previous time I was recording something messed up with this, so I'm just gonna do this for all three of the cameras. Now I think if I hit play it's gonna zoom in after I select the level. There you go. Now what I need to be able to do is when I click on either of them, I should go to their camera that we set up earlier. These cameras. Sorry for the interruption, but I realized something while I was making the camera zoom-ins. The default player controller doesn't allow you to perform click events. So what we're gonna do now is backtrack a little bit and make a player controller that's gonna allow you to perform click events, and then we'll continue on with the character select. Alright, to make the player controller, we're going to go into the general folder, right click, blueprint class, player controller. We'll call it custom player controller. Double click that and you should see here enable click events. So you check that, compile and save. Now we're going to go into the project settings, maps and modes, and here with this player controller class we're going to select custom player controller. Now in the level blueprint, first what we're going to do is we'll select the knight, right click here, and it says create reference to Paladin J Nordstrom. Oh, sorry, you gotta go click, sorry, you gotta type click and select the first one here. Don't need this yet. Here we're gonna say print string and test that out to see if it works. There. So now it's detecting clicks. Before it wasn't doing that. Now that the clicking issue is solved, what we're gonna do is connect all the cameras so that when you click you go into the Paladin or the warrior, and then when you click on him again you go back to the select camera. So essentially here when you click on him you should see this camera, when you click on him again it goes back to this. So what we're gonna do is take the warrior cam, and I also need to get player controller, so I'll copy paste this, and I also need this view target blend. Alright, I'll get rid of the string. I'll attach that together, this and this, and the warrior cam to the new view target. And I'm also gonna type here, I'm gonna drag a wire out and type flip flop. So when you click on them a second time it should call this event character select screen. There you go. So let's compile and test that. There. That's working, but if you want the player to select a level before doing all this, you need to make a variable and you need to make branches. So here we'll call this, call it level selected, or level is selected. Okay. So once you stream one of these levels, it should set this to true. I'll do it for both. But here the default value of this variable, compile. Yeah, it shouldn't be true, it should be false. So once that's selected, here what's gonna happen is this branch, if it's true, you can click on him if a level is selected. So let's see this. I can't click on him, it's not responding at all, but I selected a level. Now I can go in and out. So we have the warrior set up. Now we're gonna do the same thing for her. So this, I'm just gonna clean it up quick a little bit. Put these up here. This thing down here. Essentially, it's the same thing for the mage. What we're gonna do after is display their widgets that show their stats. So this is warrior cam zoom. And now let's go get the mage. We can also copy paste all of this down here because we're gonna need it. We'll replace the warrior cam with the mage cam, so don't need that one. Click the mage and type click. Select the first one. There, that should do the trick. And I'll say mage cam zoom. So I got both of these set up. Choose a level, character. Now I can toggle between both of these. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video, and in the next segment we're gonna continue on and add widgets next to these characters. Now to make the widgets with the character stats, we'll go here into widgets, and I'll go make new ones. This one will be for the warrior, so I'll call it stat underscore warrior, and let's get in that. So first, I'm gonna take a canvas panel, and I'm gonna dump all the stat stuff in there. So I'll take text block, and I'll call him, say warrior in caps. Okay. Then I'm gonna take progress bar. Before I do this, just to say, in the game I had circular ones. That's actually a shader from Jeremy Baldwin. You can find it on the Unreal Engine forums. But the thing is super long to configure, so I'm not gonna configure that in the tutorials because it's too time consuming. But I'll show the typical process that I went through to get the sliders animated. So here we got a progress bar, and I'll take another text, and we'll call that ATT for attack. And we'll take the slider, or actually, you know what, we'll just call this cool. How cool is that character? This way I don't have to animate all 4 stats. Essentially it would be attack, defense, whatever you have. So here you have the fill and you have the percentage. And what we're gonna do, let's say he is 80% cool. Okay, that's his cool factor. So we will go into, we're gonna bind this, create binding. Okay. And here what I want to do is event construct, and then I need to make functions. I need a new function, and we'll call this cool boost. Okay, and here in percentage, this float value, we're gonna promote to variable, and we'll call this cool underscore var for variable. Now in the cool boost function, we're gonna get this variable, and we're also gonna set it. So we're gonna say cool variable plus float. We'll say 0.1. That, so you're gonna get the cool variable value and add 0.1 to it and set it here. But I'm also gonna make a branch, and in the branch here I'm actually gonna get this again, this cool variable, and I'll say if it's equal to 0.8. If that is true, we're going to do something, but if it's false, we're going to keep adding to that number. Going back to the event graph, we're going to say set timer. And we're going to call the function coolBoost. Okay. coolBoost. Set it to looping. I will put this to 0.2. And then we're going to make a custom event, stop bar, make clear timer. Oh, wrong one. And we're going to stop coolBoost. And connect here. So this is to stop progress bar at limit. And this is to start progress bar. So this thing's going to keep getting updated because our function's going to keep adding a, I mean, if it's not 80%, if it's false here, it's going to keep adding to it. But if it's true, we're going to say, what was the event called again? Stop bar. If it's true, stop bar. Okay. So here in the warrior cam, this is a level blueprint. We're gonna get that create widget node that we had earlier, this thing. Okay, gonna connect it, and I'm gonna select stat warrior, and I'll say add to viewport. There. And I'm also going to drag this and say remove from parent. This one, this remove from parent, I'll make a custom event, and I'll say remove stats. Okay, so we're going to have this. We'll be needing this after for the mage too, so we'll just link her widget remove from parent to this too. So okay, so what happens is when you click on him, it should zoom into him, it should show his widget. When you click on him again, it should call this, and it should remove his widget. It should call the character select screen and remove his widget. So here we're gonna remove that widget by going remove stats, and let's see how that works out. Select a level. Saw that? The bar just went up. Go back again, and it went up. Let's do it full screen. I think 0.8 is just filling it up completely. So your widget, you can also space it properly. You can place it in the right location, because right now it's kind of overlapping him, but I think that's due to my screen res. If I anchor this to the top right, selected a level, yeah, cool bar. The reason why it's kind of choppy, it's if I go into the widget blueprint here, the function is looping it at 0.2. So I think at 0.1, at 0.1 it'll be better. And here it's adding quite a bit, so 0.05. So if it's at 0.8, yeah, it should stop. Well, if it keeps on filling up, but I'll write a fix in the description. so I can just keep going with this video so it doesn't drag on for too long. And now that I have this stat for the warrior, I'm going to duplicate this stat image. Oh wait, actually, let me delete that, sorry. We're going to add a button to this. I'm so hasty. Okay, here a button. And we're going to add a text block. I'm going to say, we'll call it go. Z order to 2. We're going to put that over the button. Actually, it could be 0 order 0. This could be 1. But we'll just take off its opacity. And that's not how it works. Background color, opacity. Yeah, we'll leave it to that. Save. And we're gonna say onclicked. We got a print string. You chose warrior. It's not gonna do anything yet because we don't even have the blueprint set up for these characters. But when it does, we're gonna start adding functionality to this button here. It's gonna extend and spawn him, and we're gonna possess him and so on. So let's try. You chose warrior. It's appearing on the side. Cool. So now I can duplicate this, and we'll say stat underscore mage. Just move this whole canvas to the side. Change this to mage. And where did it go? A function, a cool boost function. Yeah. Let's just put it to 0.5 and see what would happen. Going back to the third person blueprint, gonna copy this, paste it down. We're gonna do this for the mage. Stat mage, connect it, add to viewport, and also remove from parent. There. This will be warrior stat widget, and this will be mage stat widget. Remove stat widget right here in the middle. And another thing we're missing is this. Oh, sorry. Just copy this remove stat event and paste it for the mage. So let's try this out. Selected a level. Oh, but you know, it's filling up. I'll find the fix and I'll post it in the comments or at the end of the video. Cool. I think if I go to her, yeah, that's something else we're gonna fix. Both of them appear at the same time. I had that problem too in my game. So that means when you're going true, you want to remove from parent for this guy. So I'll get another remove from parent. And I'll plug it right here. Mage stat widget. I'll do the same thing for the mage. I'll say remove from parent, and I'll put it right here. So what's happening now is when you're clicking on the warrior, let's say you clicked on the mage first, or stats are there, you click on the warrior, level is selected, true, you can zoom into him, you show his widget, you add it to viewport, but you also remove her widget. Let's try this. Warrior. Ta-da! And I think this is going to say you chose warrior. Yeah, because the print string's not done. Cool. Okay. So before I find the fix for the progress bar, I'm just gonna go into the mage stat, and here you chose mage. Compile and save that. So I'm gonna pause the video. Sorry if I was all jittery and hasty in this. I'm trying to keep it short on point, and I tend to miss some things out. But I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna find the fix for the progress bar, and I'm gonna explain it in the next segment. To fix the issue that we were having with the progress bar that just wouldn't stop where we wanted it to, so I managed to fix it, and I'm gonna do a little breakdown and explain how I got it. So see, now it stops. Whereas he's too cool, so it keeps going. So we're gonna fix that. So in the stat widget for the warrior, in the cool boost function we had all this. Well, it turns out we don't need all this. We just need this piece. So in his cool boost, I can actually take off this branch and the stop bar. Could delete all that and just keep this little segment here. So you're adding to cool variable, and this is your progress bar. Here what you need is a clamp. So you clamp this variable, that's it. Let's say for the warrior I just wanted him to be, I don't know, let's put him to 0.5, 0.5, sorry. What am I doing? Okay. 0.5. There we go. And the mage, here, her clamp, we'll put it to 0.8. There we go. And we're gonna go into the event graph. We actually don't need this clear timer, so we can delete it. Stop bar, clear timer for both of them. Okay. Oh, let's change this to this comment. Mage selected. Oh, something's wrong. Okay. Don't mind that, that's just my backup blueprint. Okay. So let's test this stuff out. Select the level. There. Our cool bar stopped. Now we're gonna go see the warrior. There, his cool bar stopped. Okay. So this pretty much covers the character select screen. I know there's no functionality in it yet in terms of spawning the character and taking control of it, but once we set up the mage and the warrior, we're going to be able to do that after. So thanks for watching, and the next part will probably be a character setup, I think. So thank you.